throwing frag grenades in there, shooting a few rounds in there, trying to suppress them, but also if anybody's sitting right there, fucking them up. One of my boys, also an American, he's hollering out at me that he's going to push around the back side, and when he coming across there, he yells that there's another hole, part of the trench line. So I tell him to stop. I throw another frag grenade on that side of the trench, just in case if somebody is laying low in there or something like that. That goes off. He and a Ukrainian jump in over there, and now we're here. Actually, probably better if I just draw it.
Yeah, do it.
So, tree line's right here. This is the tree line, and then we all kind of just gaggle fuck right here, and the trench comes this way.
Let me record it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the trench comes this way. There's the bunker that I'm talking about goes in this way, and then the trench follows back off this way. So all this right here. Let me see if I can draw it this way. There we go. That's better. So I'm right here at this point, and I can't see any of this.
Right.
So that's when my buddy, he jumps over here and tells me that there's a hole. I throw a frag grenade over there.
So is he out of the trench?
So he was out of the trench. He was like back over here, like in the trees and shit like that. Yep. And once I threw the grenade and cleared it over there, he and the Ukrainian jumped into this position right here. Is where they ended up sitting at, right in there, to where they could see down in this way into this bunker, and I'm sitting right here, and I keep looking that way and shooting and throwing grenades down into the bunker right over there. But so he we're just back and forth. I'm just throwing grenades, shooting. I tell the Ukrainian behind me, I tell him, I'm like, hey man, like I think I've already thrown into the bunker alone 3 or 4 grenades. And I'm like, hey, tell them to surrender. And now I'm starting to question if they're even alive. I was like, man, I've thrown a lot of fucking grenades in here. Like they're probably all just fucking minced meat. So he yells out, which was funny because I speak some Ukrainian and some Russian, and but not enough to where like I can yell out a command to tell him to come out and stuff like that. But basically, the rough translation of him telling them to surrender is come out fast. And he said it, and I kind of laughed to myself, and I was like, tell him again, and he tells me, he's like come out fast, and they didn't want to come out, so
Did they yell back?
Nope.
Okay.
There was no noise, no nothing from them. So that's also kind of why I'm like, I think they're still in there. And at this point, my boy, he goes, hey, there's a shooting port on this side. I can drop throw
Post a grenade.
Yeah. And I told him to hold off because I knew where this shooting port was because I saw it when we were approaching. Because it's again in this bunker. This is all underground right here.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of this is underground. This shadowing that I'm doing is the topsoil, right? So my buddy's over here, and he saw a shooting port somewhere in this. Man, my drawing skills are phenomenal. So somewhere in this little area, there's a shooting port that he saw, and I saw it when we were approaching because they were shooting at us from this area. I was watching muzzle flash and smoke and dirt. So he was talking about getting out and throwing a frag grenade right there after we already told them to surrender. I tell him to hold off because I don't want him getting out of the trench and exposing himself if we don't need to.
Yeah.
Right. I'm always about, minimal risk. I mean, it's war, so we're going to be putting ourselves at risk, but as little as possible.
Yeah.
So I was like, I even told him, I was like, I think there's still guys in here. Let me throw a couple more grenades. Let me do a couple things, and then we'll work that out. So I throw a couple more grenades. I start shooting again, and my garrote decides to start fucking up. The gas block on it started coming out, and we found out that the gas block is a piece of shit on these garrotes because my same buddy that's in there with me, while we were in an engagement one day, his entire gas block blew out of his rifle. Yeah, so Oh, it was. What a perfect time for your gas block to blow out in the middle of a firefight.
Do you have secondary? Do you have
No.
9mm?
Nope. We have our rifle.
Okay.
Rifle and a few grenades. That's it. We didn't have any anti-armor with us. We didn't have anything. We had our rifle and a few grenades.
Ballsy.
Yeah, right. So mine and being the point man, mine starts, going out. I'm like, oh shit. So I don't even think about like at this moment in time to like start fixing it and stuff like that. I immediately just to the guy behind me, I was like, give me your rifle. I was like, give me your rifle. So he hands me his AK, and I immediately just turn around and start blasting into that hole again, just in case, with me not shooting or throwing grenades in there, they were starting to work their way out. So I blast a few rounds in there, and I tell him, I'm like, hey, tell him to surrender again. Tell him to come out, or, we're just going to keep, giving them hate and discontent. And while he's yelling at them, I'm kind of like fucking with my gas block on my garrote, and I still have his rifle with me. So he gets done yelling at him. I poke my garrote back forward just to, give it a couple of test fires to see if it's going to work. And all of a sudden it started working again. I was like, perfect. So I handed to him his AK bag. I lobbed a few more grenades. And at this point, I'm getting ready to tell my boy, hey, drop a grenade. But I was like, let me throw one more. So I threw it. I watch it go off. And then I poke my head back around to like assess, what's going on. And as I'm poking my head back around, that's when I just got like this big old wave of energy and dirt all in my face, like a big flash. And the very like that split second, I was like, did I just walk into my grenade? Like, did I just walk into my grenade? I was like, there's no way I just walked into my grenade. I was like, one, I know for a fact I watched my grenade blow up on the ground. Like I watched the energy and dirt blow back on the ground level. I got hit face level, and I'm 6'1", so I mean it's way higher than anything that I'd been throwing. And then while I'm thinking that, I'm also like, shit, they might be trying to assault out. And while I'm thinking that, I'm also evaluating myself. I look down, I'm like, all right, cool. I got some blood on my shoulder. I looked at my arm. I could see a little bit of blood poking through, my combat top. And I saw my shoulder, and I immediately wasn't worried about it because it was just like superficial bleeding. It wasn't arterial bleeding. And then the thought, came into my head that they might be trying to assault out. Like they just launched a grenade. They're trying to assault out. So I immediately just poked back in and just started shooting. And then my eye filled up with blood. And again, no pain at this point. Zero pain. But my eye just literally looked like if you were to like take a bag of blood and hold it up to the light, that's what it looked like I was looking through.
So everything's just red.
Just red. Yeah. And it filled up, and like it filled up from the top down. Like I could watch the blood like trickle in, which was weird and cool all at the same time.
Like the start of a James Bond movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say. Like exactly what I say. Like the only thing I was missing was the boo-doo boo-doo.
All the hot chicks.
and all the hot chicks walking around. Exactly. But yeah, so once my eye filled up with blood, I was still kind of under the impression that they might be trying to assault out, and I called out. I shot a few more rounds and everything like that. I was out of grenades, so I couldn't prep and throw one. I'd already been snagging grenades from other guys, so I hauled out that I was hit and that I needed to back out. And even when I hauled out, I was hit. My buddy, he goes, "Are you good?" I was like, "I'm good. I can't be here. Like I'm completely ineffective at this point." So he ends up taking over. I back out of the trench, and I ended up walking back to our starting point, where the Ukrainians there, like I'm speaking broken Ukrainian, like asking for a medevac, asking how bad my face is, because I don't know how bad my face is.
Yeah.
I don't feel any pain, but I don't know how boogered up I am. I can see a little bit of blood on my rifle and stuff like that.
So you have one eye red and one eye clear? Do you? Yeah. And there's still fighting going on everywhere else too. Like this system, that's only your little sector, I'm guessing. Like there's still
that's
chaos fucking everywhere.
Exactly.
But your universe is to this point.
Yeah. So there's Russian trenches, yeah.
Yeah. You good?
Good. So this tree line, this trench, this tree line comes back another roughly 800 meters or so.
Right.
And then there's a tree line that splits this way, and there's Russian positions right here that are being shot at by artillery and tank fire and stuff like that. And I want to say that there was like a Russian position like way over here somewhere. But yeah, my universe is right here.
Yeah.
So there, I still hear,